What we need is not more medication, but more education, because the best prescription is knowledge. This is Exposé coming to you live from Lagos, Nigeria, every Monday on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook simultaneously. I'm the regular host, Tony Akinyemi. Don't forget, what we need is not more medication, but more education, because the best prescription is knowledge. Hello and welcome to Exposé with Tony Akinyemi. I'm your regular host, and my name is still Tony Akinyemi. In the last 3 episodes, I interviewed Professor Joshua Ojo of the Department of Physics, Faculty of Science, Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife, Nigeria. Incidentally, that's the same institution where I earned my first degree in computer engineering. I was in the first set of computer engineering graduates of any university in Africa. University of Ife then being the first institution in Africa to offer a degree program in computer engineering. And I was privileged and honored to be one of the first sets of people who enrolled in that program. And that's the same university that Professor Joshua Ojo, a man that I have very high respect and high regards for, a brilliant and intelligent scientist, researcher, and academia. And he opened our eyes to so many things regarding environmental pollution. He spoke on agrochemicals and how they are impacting on the environment, how they are infiltrating into our food chain, how they are affecting human health in particular. He also spoke about toxic fumes, all kinds of poisonous gases being emitted here and there through anthropogenic activities, that's human activities, and that are very, very hazardous to human health. And then he concluded in the 3rd episode by addressing toxic metals, light metals and heavy metals. The things that Professor Ojo shared with us actually stimulated me further. Of course, I've been studying and reading about heavy metal toxicity, about environmental pollution, about toxic gases and toxic fumes and what have you for many years. But that interview gingered me further. And I started doing more research, more reading and more studies. And the kind of information that I have been able to glean and gather is really mind-blowing and overwhelming. So I decided that we will have to commit a whole season on Exposé with Tony Akinyemi to looking at those issues of environmental toxins, toxicity again, and how to minimize our exposure to them on the one hand, and for those who are already exposed, how to get help. How do you detox from these poisonous and hazardous substances that may have found their way into your body, into my body? How do we heal from the damaging effects or damages that they may have caused in our body while it was in our body? I recall very vividly that in the year 2004 in particular, almost 20 years right now, when I first of all did my heavy metal testing in the United States of America through a urine challenge, the amount of lead and mercury that were found in my body was alarming. I had to do heavy metal chelation to get rid of them from my body, among other things. That was not the only thing I did, but that was one of the things I did. And by the time we begin to discuss that, beginning hopefully from the month of July 2023, I will begin to lay on the table many aspects of this menace that we need to understand and how to go about, helping ourselves to recover from the devastating and damaging effects of these toxic substances in our body. But today I want to concentrate on one of the many things that can help us in detoxing. After that, we will move on to address a few other issues like, some female issues and then some mental health issues, which will be like an interlude. After which, I will now start the next season dealing with these environmental toxins that can lead to toxemia and how to detox from them and how to heal from their impact on our bodies. So today I'll be talking about the health benefits of fasting. Now, I'll be focusing mainly on the health benefits of fasting. I will not dwell too much on the different types or different kinds of fasting because there are different types of fasting. There is absolute fast, there is relative fast, there is intermittent fast, and all kinds of different kinds of fasting. I won't go into those details. Whatever the type of fasting that you adopt, just understand that fasting has got many benefits: spiritual benefits, therapeutic benefits, prophylactic benefits, geriatric benefits, psycho-emotional benefits, all kinds of benefits of fasting. That is, when you fast appropriately. Because again, there is an inappropriate way to fast. People fast and they break their fasting appropriately. People fast and they still continue to eat the wrong kinds of foods to break their fast and all of that. And some people fast in such a way as to damage themselves rather than help themselves. Of course, there is water fast, there is juice fast, and what have you. Some people can go on, just drinking vegetable juices and broth for onwards of 3 weeks or longer, 21 days, 40 days, and what have you. Now, I think the longest partial fast I have ever done is for 50 days. What I did was I only ate, raw food for 50 days. I didn't eat any cooked food over a period of 50 days. That's 7 weeks. No cooked food at all. I took vegetable juice in the morning or smoothie. I took fresh fruits in season in the afternoon. I took vegetable salad in the evening. That was it. And I did that continuously for 50 days. That's a kind of partial fast on raw food only. Okay? Then I have done water fast. For the longest I've done is 10 days. I've done 3 days. I've done 7 days. The longest I have gone without eating any food at all, just drinking only water, was for 10 days. And I did this when I was in my 50s, in my 60s, okay? Not even when I was younger. When I was in my 20s, I attempted 3 days water fast. I almost died. By after 48 hours, I was beginning to see stars. And I was only 26 at the time. But now, even at 56, at 58, at 60, at 61, I'm able to do 10 days with water only. No food whatsoever. Now, I'm not prescribing that to anybody. That's me. That's what my body can handle. You may not be able to handle it. But whatever fast you want to undertake, just understand that fasting has got its benefits. And one of the benefits of fasting is that it can help to rid the body of environmental toxins. And I will be basing this conversation today on the work of one great scientist, Dr. Edward Group. Dr. Edward Group III is a chiropractic doctor, and he has many other areas of specialization. He wrote an article that was published on June 13, 2017, and most of what I'll be sharing with you is gleaned from that work. I give him that credit. Of course, these are things that are well known here and there, but he did a good job in collating all of these benefits together in one place. All right, so the health benefits of fasting, I will be looking at least 16 of those benefits. The first benefit that we're going to be talking about is that, fasting can actually help to promote greater satiety. Your fatty tissue acts as a kind of endocrine organ, your adipose tissue, and it produces several different kinds of hormones. Our fat tissue produces estrogen, for example. And then another hormone is leptin, which affects how full you feel. Okay? So fasting and weight loss significantly affect our hunger level. It helps us to feel satisfied after a meal. because of the hormone leptin. Okay? With fasting, leptin levels drop initially, but as we begin to lose weight and lose weight during prolonged fast, I mean, you could be breaking your fast, for example, every evening. You skip breakfast and lunch and you break only with the supper. Okay? As you continue on in your fasting, you start losing weight. And then as fat begins to melt away, you decrease leptin resistance and you become more responsive to leptin when it signals your cells. And that increases how full you feel. So the first thing you find out is that fasting promotes greater satiety. For example, after I fasted for maybe 3 days or 7 days, drinking only water, by the time I want to start eating, I find out that I'm not able to eat as much as I used to eat before I commenced on the fast. I feel full earlier than normal. With very small food, I'm okay. The second benefit is that fasting can also boost your metabolism. Leptin, though known primarily as the satiety hormone, also increases your thyroid hormone function and production. Improved leptin sensitivity actually increases the rate of your metabolism if you have a very sluggish thyroid. Okay, so when you fast, okay, you now find that your body becomes more sensitive to leptin, that hormone, and that also increases your rate of burning your calories for fuel. Okay? Now, that is a benefit that you get when you fast. The third benefit will be that fasting supports ketosis, as well as fat loss. Now, ketosis is when your body begins to convert fat into ketone bodies. Now, the human body is capable of utilizing glucose as well as ketone bodies rather, for energy. Okay, glucose and ketone bodies for energy. All right. Now, the preference, the cells in our bodies prefer to use glucose for energy. But where glucose is not available, the cells can make do with fat. They convert fat to ketone bodies and then convert the ketone bodies to energy. Now, these are normal cells, but primitive cells like cancer cells can only use glucose for energy. They cannot use ketone bodies for energy. That's why the ketogenic diet that dwells more on consuming healthy fats and little or no carbohydrate actually is an indirect way to starve cancer cells. All right? So when your body begins to use ketones, begin to burn fat and convert it to ketones for energy, that supports fat loss and a situation we know as nutritional ketosis. That is, you are intentionally inducing ketosis through your diet. But that ketosis is not as a result of a dysfunction within your system. We call it nutritional ketosis, a fat-burning state. And that state is reached either by fasting or eating a diet that is centered on healthy fats. Now, ketosis helps you to burn through your fat reserves. Now, excessive central fat that is stored around the organs is called visceral fat. Around organs like your liver, your kidneys, can actually interfere with the function of those organs. But then when you fast, it helps you to reach ketosis even faster than traditional caloric restriction. Now, a study actually found that fasting significantly boosted fat metabolism in humans. And you want to get that. You want to get your visceral fat, all the fats around your kidneys, all the excessive fats around your heart, the fatty deposits in your liver. You want to get all of them burnt out so that your organs, your internal organs can function optimally. That's a benefit that you get from fasting. Fat loss and ketosis. The fourth benefit is it encourages better insulin sensitivity. Fasting causes your body to secrete less insulin because you are not giving yourself, steady doses of glucose. And because there's no glucose, there's no need for insulin to push the glucose into the cells. So lower levels of insulin leads to increased sensitivity in those with insulin resistance. Now, people who have insulin resistance resulting in high blood glucose, diabetes, When they do long fast, their bodies become more sensitive to insulin. So they are able to respond more when insulin is, prompting the insulin receptors in cells. The cells respond better to insulin. They become more insulin sensitive. They are able to overcome insulin resistance as a result of fasting. Okay? Excessive fat stores seem to contribute to, insulin resistance. And so when you melt those fatty tissues away, then you become sharpened. Your insulin sensitivity becomes sharpened. Some research actually points to excessive fat in the body, in the blood, and in the diet as a contributor to insulin resistance by preventing, insulin from doing its job. Opening the pores of your cell membranes to allow sugar, to move from the bloodstream into the cells. So they go into the mitochondria where they are converted from glucose or calories through a process of oxidation phosphorylation into ATP, adenosine triphosphate, ATP, which is the refined fuel that your body uses for energy. So the fourth benefit of fasting is it encourages better insulin sensitivity. It can help you to overcome insulin resistance. Number 5 benefit of fasting is that it improves cardiovascular health. Cardio, your heart. Vascular, your blood vessels. Now, one of the main benefits, particularly for people that have metabolic syndrome, that is, people who have problems that are relating to metabolism, problems like diabetes, even cardiovascular problems, is the many immediate cardiovascular benefits that they derive when they go on fasting. Because fasting improves cardiovascular function, it improves your blood composition, it balances your lipid profile, the level of cholesterol, bad cholesterol, good cholesterol, triglycerides that's in your blood. I mean, when people say they have high cholesterol and they want to start taking statin drugs, they want to start taking Lipitor and Mevacor and atorvastatin and what have you, just go on the 3-day water fast. And at the end of 72 hours, you see that all the fat in your blood will have been burnt up for energy. And then your cholesterol will just crash, bam, and that's it. Those with type 2 diabetes or high cholesterol may find fasting helpful in addressing some of the associated health concerns that they are dealing with. I'll give you one more and then we'll go on a short break. The 6th benefit of fasting is actually that it can help to lower your blood pressure. There was a lady who came to see me the other day, and she has been dealing with, hypertension for years. She's been taking medications, and it appears that now the medications are not even working. She's not responding to multi-drugs. I think she was on 3 different drugs for BP, and yet her BP was not coming down. Because her body was still in better shape, I suggested to her, are you able to go on raw food diet? I didn't even place that on complete fast, just raw food diet. Take vegetable juice in the morning, eat fresh fruits, a little fresh fruits in the afternoon, and a bowl of salad in the evening. And don't use mayonnaise, don't use, store-bought salad dressing. Just put coconut oil or olive oil or flaxseed oil or Udo's perfected oil blend as your salad dressing, And she did that, and I said, do that for 7 days. At the end of 7 days, go and check your cholesterol again. She was amazed how her cholesterol dropped and how her BP also dropped during 7 days of raw eating. Low amount of raw vegetables, no cooked food at all, no salt intake at all, just raw vegetables. And in 7 days, her BP normalized. Yeah, fasting lowers blood pressure. While fasting, many people develop that's drop in BP, primarily during the first week of a fast. It might not be fasting itself that decreases blood pressure, we don't know, but maybe because they have lowered their salt intake, for example, and they have also lost a lot of salt and a lot of sodium during the period because of urinating and sweating and what have you. But whatever the mechanism of action, one thing we know is that fasting can actually help to lower BP, particularly when you do water fast or vegetable juice fast. Of course, that has to be done under supervision. If you want to do 7-day water fast, 10-day water fast, 14-day water fast, 21-day water fast, 30-day water fast, it has to be done I suggest at a facility with professionals in attendance supervising your water fast. There are so many wonderful benefits you derive from that. Don't go away. We'll go on a short break. And when I come back, we'll give you 10 more benefits of fasting.
Meet Emily. She is passionate about living a healthy life, but finds it difficult to access information on health and wellness.
Cancer is survivable.
That is until she discovered the online healthy living training offered by Reverend Tony Akinyemi on lms.rafainstitute.org. The online healthy living training program is a comprehensive interactive course that covers topics such as nutrition, fitness, stress management, and mental health. The course is designed to provide participants with practical tips and strategies to improve their health and well-being. Emily is now equipped with the knowledge and skills she needs to live a healthy life. Join Emily and countless others in living a healthy life by signing up for the online healthy living training program today.
Welcome back, and this is still Exposé with Tony Akinyemi this beautiful Monday evening in West Africa. This comes up 8 p.m. West African time on YouTube and Facebook simultaneously. Don't forget, what we need is not more medication, but more education. For the best prescription is knowledge, because to be informed is to be transformed. To be uninformed is to be deformed. The Word of God says, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. But then again, the Word of God says, for by knowledge shall the just be delivered. And it says, you will know the truth, and the truth will make you free. Today, we are discussing the benefits of fasting based on the work of Dr. Edward Group, a chiropractic doctor. Of course, most of the information shared are all there in the public domain. We all know that fasting is beneficial, and that's why most religions in the world include fasting as one of their practices, Christianity not being an exemption. In Christianity, fasting is recommended. People asked Jesus Christ, our Lord, they said, why is it that your disciples don't fast? And he said, well, as long as the bridegroom is here with them, they don't need to fast. He said, but then the time is coming when the bridegroom will be taken away. He said, then shall they fast. And then in some other place, he says, when you fast. This is how to fast. He didn't say if you fast. He said when you fast. So it's a matter of when. Everyone needs to fast. Fasting has spiritual benefits. It has therapeutic benefits, that's healing benefits. It has prophylactic benefits, that's disease prevention benefits. It's got geriatric benefits. In other words, it can help us to age gracefully. Indeed, it even has some mental health benefits as well. So there's a lot of benefits derivable from appropriate fasting. Inappropriate fasting, however, can be detrimental and counterproductive. Okay? You can go without air for only 4 minutes, without oxygen for only 4 minutes before brain cells begin to die. We can go without water and not damage our health for a maximum of 4 days. After 4 days, damages begin to set in our health. And we can go without food, without damaging our health for a maximum of 40 days. So if you are fasting and you are not eating food, I suggest you don't go beyond 40 days. If you are not drinking water, you want to do what they call dry fast in this part of the world, then please don't go beyond 4 days. And if you want to fast oxygen, please don't go beyond 4 minutes. Otherwise, brain cells can begin to die. Now, when you violate some of these basic principles, we call that inappropriate fasting. And when you're fasting also, and you want to break your fast, there's an appropriate way to break your fast. When you break your fasting appropriately, you can damage your health as well. So appropriate fasting conducted in the proper way can actually be highly beneficial. And we're looking at 16 major benefits of fasting. We've addressed 6 of them already. We have 10 more to go in this second half of today's presentation. So what is the 7th benefit? of fasting. That relates to our blood sugar. Fasting, appropriate fasting can decrease blood sugar, blood glucose, yeah? If you are doing a long fast, let's say water fast or juice fast or broth fast, okay, in just the first few days of fasting, blood sugar can drop by over 30%, according to certain scientific studies. You know, anyone with diabetes or hyperglycemia can benefit immensely from fasting. And this drop usually makes people to feel, some low energy, but blood sugar levels will stabilize as the fast continues along the way. It's nothing to be afraid of, really. Except, of course, if your blood sugar is dropping below 70, milligrams per deciliter of blood, then that means that you are going into hypoglycemia. Something needs to be done to address that quickly before it progresses into something more serious. So the seventh benefit is a drop in blood sugar. The eighth benefit of appropriate fasting is it also helps to improve our blood triglycerides. That is the fats, the lipids in the blood. That decreases during fasting, okay? Having fatty blood actually can increase, atherosclerosis, narrowed blood vessels, hardened blood vessels, poor blood circulation, and ischemic conditions to certain organs and tissues in the body. But when the blood vessels are well open, okay, and circulation is very good, then definitely that is beneficial to health at the end of the day. And that's one of the things that fasting can do. Number 9, fasting also promotes heart health, improved heart health. Researchers have found that fasting can improve heart muscle performance. It can help to reduce, free radical damage. It can help to improve the growth, of blood vessels within the heart. And all of these will culminate in improved heart health through fasting. Number 10, fasting can decrease inflammation. Inflammation. We all know, that's no news. Everyone who is familiar with anything that has to do with health knows that inflammation is involved in most chronic degenerative diseases. And inflammation is typically caused by an unhealthy diet and lifestyle. When people consume refined sugar, refined carbohydrates, alcohol, processed meats, dairy products that are loaded with hormones, fried food, and chemicalized food with monosodium glutamate, artificial flavor, artificial coloring, and emulsifiers, and charred foods that contain, what we call AGE, advanced glycation end products. All of these provoke hyperinflammation. Inflammation itself could be a repair mechanism when there is a damage anywhere in the body, but when it is excessive and chronic, too long, then it becomes, detrimental to health. Now, so another source is metabolic reactions, which also generate free radicals, like superoxides and hydrogen peroxide and what have you. Now, so when you forego a few meals, that helps to prevent food-related inflammation before it even starts in your body. So another way that fasting decreases inflammation is through better hormonal balance in the body. When you fast certain meals, then your body begins to, regulate and normalize, particularly its hormones. So that's another benefit of fasting, number 10, decreased inflammation in the body. 11th benefit is that fasting helps cells to recycle better, improved cell recycling. Because as we age, there are certain cells in the body that are referred to as rogue cells. Some of our own human cells, as well as some foreign, cells and elements that have invaded our system, these rogue cells can proliferate throughout the body unchecked. And this can cause damages to tissues and contribute to progressive disease, chronic degenerative disease. But when we fast, okay, fasting sends our body into cell recycling. When the calories entering your body is not sufficient to meet your caloric needs, what happens is that your body begins to convert adipose tissue, fat, into energy. And then any rogue cell, any damaged cell, any weak cell in the body, the body, burns that up first and uses it for energy. You guys are no good, so let's use you up for energy. And so it keeps mopping up all the debris, as it were, from your system. That's a process of self-digestion, so to speak, at the cellular level. That's called autophagy. Autophagy. That's the benefit of fasting. It recycles your cells, burns up the ones that are very bad, and it becomes a matter of the survival of the fittest. So only your fittest cells will survive that season of fasting. The very weak ones are, consumed up and mopped up and used up. So by the time you finish fasting, only the fittest are surviving. Then you can now begin to eat again to now generate better cells as you eat a balanced diet, high-quality food with high-quality nutrients. So you now bring replacement cells with the ones that have been eaten up or self-digested. Now, you are not just digesting your fat for fuel while fasting. Your body also targets malfunctioning cells and old tissues to optimize the resources available within your body for survival. The 12th benefit of fasting is it increases growth regulation. Your body produces less insulin-like growth factor 1, IGF-1. While fasting and on certain diets, such as a healthy plant-based diet, IGF-1 has been implicated as a hormone that helps cancer to proliferate throughout the body. So when you are able to reduce IGF-1 production, it decreases your odds of intractable tumor growth and spread in the body. This means that fasting can help to cleanse the body of not only the resources of rogue cells, or the resources that rogue cells need in order to continue to thrive, but also the hormones that help them to stick around and thrive. All the toxins and all the heavy metals, the aluminum, the lead, the various things, all these things begin to get eliminated from your system. So the environment is cleaner, your hormones are balancing, rogue cells are dying off and being consumed and recycled. So at the end of the day, you have a cleaner inside, an inside that is in a state of balance, in a state of homeostasis, so that function can be optimal at that level. Right. The 13th benefit of fasting, according to Dr. Edward Group, is it protects your brain. Studies on aging and brain function have substantially increased in the last decade. Okay, life expectancies have increased well past what once even thought was even thought possible. Now, the public's profound interest in brain health throughout all stages of life reflects a desire to age gracefully, healthfully, and with full of, optimal mental faculties intact. Unfortunately, fasting seems to specifically kickstart protective mechanisms in our brains and helps us to age gracefully. And finally for today, fasting supports healthier skin by helping the skin to build, healthier collagen. Of course, our diet is very important for our skin's appearance. I normally tell people, don't wear your makeup. Eat your makeup. And I don't mean eat your powder and your pancake. I mean, eat foods that will nourish your skin. Fasting can also help our skin's integrity, because when people keep eating and then they have high blood sugar can change the structure of collagen. It can weaken the strength and the resilience of collagen. Now, I think of collagen like the iron rods in your decking. When you want to cast your decking, you first of all lay, the wood, which would be the platform on which you're going to pour the concrete. And then the iron mesh is put in place. before you now mix your cement and granite and sand and water to form, your concrete material that you pour. And then when it sets and solidifies, it becomes your decking or your platform. Okay? The iron that is inside helps to strengthen that decking. I see collagen in that fashion. Collagen is what gives, strength and firmness and integrity to your skin in particular and other parts of your body. And so fasting helps, the strength and the resilience of collagen in your body. Because fasting substantially lowers blood sugar, and you can think of it as a normal part of your skincare routine to ensure graceful aging by fasting regularly to make your skin to glow. Now, if you go into the Bible, you will find that there are certain scriptures that actually encourages fasting and also highlights the benefits of fasting. Now, in the Gospel of St. Mark, chapter 9, in verse 29, the Bible says, "So he said to them, this kind can come out by nothing but prayer and fasting." So, in the same fashion, as certain demons will not be exorcised except the person who is exorcising them has been given to a life of prayer and fasting, in the same way, there are some health conditions that may not resolve except we include fasting as part of our regime to address those health conditions. All right. Certain disease conditions respond to fasting. All right. In Luke chapter 2, verse 37 also, the Bible records of a widow woman of about 84 years of age who did not depart from the temple, but served God with fastings and prayers day and night. Okay? She served God with fasting. So, we can serve God with fasting as well. At 84 years old, there must be something she's doing right if she was still able to fast at 84. I assume that must have been a habit for her. Fasting must have been a habit, a lifelong habit for her, such that up to the age of 84, she still had enough stamina, enough energy in herself to continue to fast. And if fasting kills, she would have been dead before she was 84 because she was given to a life of fasting. All right. So these and many more are the benefits of fasting. Of course, benefits like detoxification is also there, where we give our body a chance to go on sabbatical leave, so to speak. All our excretory system, elimination system, they are on turbo during fasting, particularly when you're also drinking a lot of water. That helps your system to keep flushing out waste products, toxins that are found their waste into the body, environmental toxins, exogenous toxins, endogenous toxins. All of those are some of the benefits: detoxification, cleansing, purging, all of that. So in the next couple of episodes on Exposé with Tony Akinyemi, we will pause our discussion on environmental toxins for a while, and then we're going to have an interlude, like I said, to address a few pertinent and burning wellness issues that are very urgent and critical, on high demand, so to speak. We're going to dedicate the next 2 episodes to mental health issues. Mental health issues. And I will be interviewing, a professional, an expert, a mental health therapist from the United States of America, a Nigerian American, on the next 2 episodes. Now, if you have friends and neighbors, colleagues that are dealing with mental health issues, depression, anxiety, postpartum blues, bipolar disorder, schizophrenia, you name it, please tell them to keep a date with us in the next 2 episodes on Exposé with Tony Akinyemi as we address mental health issues or emotional health issues. And thereafter, we will deal with 2 episodes on women's issue. I will be discussing menopause. I'm doing a lot of research, a lot of studies. I'm reading a lot of journals, a lot of articles, a lot of books here and there. And I'm compiling, and the things I have already discovered, wow, they are mind-blowing. And I want to lay them on the table for you. How to minimize your exposure to environmental toxins, how to get rid of environmental toxins that have found their way into your body, and in case those toxins have already caused certain damages in your body, how do you repair? How do you restore? How do you rejuvenate? How do you recover from the effects, the negative effects, the hazardous effects of these environmental toxins, okay? That will be another episode that will be starting in the month of July 2023. Keep a date with us on Exposé with Tony Akinyemi, where we share information for your wellness transformation. Don't forget, what we need is not more medication, but more education. For the best prescription is knowledge. I love you. Have a great week. Bye-bye.
Meet Emily. She is passionate about living a healthy life, but finds it difficult to access information on health and wellness.
Cancer is survivable.
That is until she discovered the online healthy living training offered by Reverend Tony Akinyemi on lms.rafainstitute.org. The online healthy living training program is a comprehensive interactive course that covers topics such as nutrition, fitness, stress management, and mental health. The course is designed to provide participants with practical tips and strategies to improve their health and well-being. Emily is now equipped with the knowledge and skills she needs to live a healthy life. Join Emily and countless others in living a healthy life by signing up for the online healthy living training program today.